doctors on the Hill.
I'm Carolyn Bennett, a Member of Parliament for St. Paul's in Toronto.
I'm only 3 minutes late for this call.
I've been a Member of Parliament since 1997. I became an accidental tourist in politics when they tried to merge Women's College Hospital with the Toronto General, and I thought it was a bad idea. And so I didn't actually know I was getting into politics when I was just fighting for something that seemed sensible. I ended up helping to lead that fight, and then 2 years later was asked to run provincially, which I did and lost. I never grew up wanting to be Prime Minister. I never grew up thinking that I was going to actually end up being in politics. I wasn't born in red diapers, as you know, a lifelong liberal political family, those kinds of things. And I think that if you feel the system is falling down around you and no one's listening to the healthcare providers or to the patients, then you've got to go to the table where the decisions get taken so you can actually have the system as your patient, as opposed to working every day in a system that seems to be going in the wrong direction. The goosebumps I feel every morning when I walk up here onto the Hill, that you can't believe you're here, that this is one of 308 people, and how responsible you end up feeling that you're one of these few people that is actually has a responsibility to shape the direction of this country. There's a statue at the front of Women's College Hospital called Woman, with the motto, non quo sed quo modo. It's not only what we do, but how. It meant that the way that the women who founded Women's College Hospital did things was different. It was a more equal partnership. It was more inclusive decision making. It's a different way of doing business. So that when there's more women in any institution, and we know the number needs to be at least a third in order to change the culture of an institution. We know that two things change. One is the what, the discourse. What are we talking about? What are the topics on the agenda? And some of them are childcare, but some of them are peace and lack of war. I mean, we know that if there's more women there, that the dialogue shifts. But also the way decisions get taken tends to be very different when more women are present. That there is more of an interest in finding the middle ground and finding a consensus with which we can go forward. We know if we can get women's names on the ballot, they do every bit as well as a male candidate. We need great people to run for office, period. But we need to make sure that great women even think about running.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to committee.
It's not good enough for people to say politics as some sort of swear word. This is about our democracy, and it's about being part of the decisions that are taken that seriously affect you and the way others are treated. So I think people have to roll up their sleeves and become active, engaged citizens in our democracy. H.L. Mencken said that for every complex human problem, there's a neat, simple solution. It's just that it's wrong. So what we are trying to do as women is explaining that for these complex problems that have been there for a very long time, there have to be complex solutions that are multifaceted, multifactorial. And sure, when I wanted to be a doctor, I didn't think that I would sit on all the committees to try and bring in midwifery, or I wouldn't sit on the committees for the government to make the role of the pharmacist better. I never really saw that was part of being a doctor, but it was always part of making change for the better. I think of just never being satisfied with the status quo. I couldn't stand it in school when there were bullies. I couldn't stand it when the teacher was unfair and picked favorites. And I think it is just this struggle for fairness. What's been exciting for me as a member of Parliament is every day I am dealing with those same subjects, but in a way that hopefully can change it for all Canadians, if not the world. It's an amazing feeling to see that your fingerprints are on a few good things around here. And sometimes the hardest thing to explain to people is that quite quietly you've been able to stop something that would have been very bad. And you don't get too much credit for that. But knowing that things are better because you were here is almost as satisfying as delivering a baby.
And this is
Debbie Forsyth.
It is slightly frustrating that everything in this new job takes more than 9 months, but it is baby steps in the right direction, and understanding that you have to declare small successes along the way, but that it's always worth it.